if you are going for your test, just try as much as possible to relax and be calm, because nervousness will somehow make you make more mistakes, and those kind of mistakes, silly mistakes that normally you would have not made, you will just be making it on your test day. Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on this channel, thank you so much for dropping in today. My name is IJ, and on this channel we do a lot of videos on living in Canada, vlogs, how to survive here and all of that. If you're interested in that kind of content, then please consider subscribing to this channel. And anyway, if you're a returning subscriber, you guys know you're the best. In this particular video, I have just an update to share with you guys. I did a couple of videos on getting your license in Canada, but the first one I did was how I was able to get my L, because after you pass your knowledge test, you're going to get this L, and how I was able to do that. So I updated you guys on that. But then I told you guys that when I do get my class N license, which is this one, I'm going to do a follow-up video. So I recently passed my road test, and I just wanted to walk you guys through my experience, basically just let you guys know, like, how things went, and give you some tips for preparing for your own road test. So I hope this helps, and yeah, let's dive right into the video. When preparing for your knowledge test, which is the first step before you even get your road test, you have to pass the knowledge test. And to pass it, I got this textbook, but I know that you can actually just get it online or use the app. But I got this book. This was the book that I had to study, and I finished it when I was preparing for my knowledge test, after which I now got this actual one, which is turning up for your road test, like how to prepare and everything. This one is just like explaining everything you need to do for your road test and how to pass. So this process, I think, is just for BC, because I don't know if other provinces use this kind of system. But anyway, when I was preparing for my road test, like, the biggest thing I would say is watch videos on driving on YouTube. Like, there are so many driving school videos that you would find, especially if you are a new driver and you are confused about certain things. Like, I remember I was confused about, like, reversing and everything. I didn't really know, I didn't understand how to do it and everything. But the first video that actually began to make sense to me about the whole thing was a video I saw on a channel here on YouTube. Like, the guy just broke everything down, and that was the first time, like, this when you're reversing and you want to turn, like, that whole thing was just so confusing for me. And even though my driving instructor, because I did use a driving school, he tried to explain it a couple of times, it really began to make sense after I watched a couple of videos on it on YouTube, which is something I would highly recommend. Like, anything you're trying to learn, even driving, for instance, like, there are so many videos you can check out that will just kind of give you the basic idea, so that even if someone is explaining it to you, you already have a sort of rough idea of what they're explaining. Try as much as possible to take a couple of lessons from a certified driving school. Like, on ICBC website, there's a couple of driving schools that are listed there that are certified for learning how to drive and everything. I would recommend that you just practice with somebody that is an expert. They'll be able to give you in-depth tips on what you need to improve on. They will tell you, like, what you need to do to pass. They will just generally teach you. I just believe that it's really worth it, because for me, I actually started from zero. It's not as if I knew how to drive before, but I had to practice a bit on my own, and then I now went on to take some lessons with a driving instructor. So with the L, you are not really allowed to drive on your own. That is the first thing. That's the first impediment. Like, that's just the thing. But if you have some family members that have the class 5 or friends that have the class 5 license, perhaps the best thing would just be to get them to just give you a couple of lessons. So anyway, for me, I would say that what would really help you go a long way is getting as much driving experience as you can. Like, practice as much as you can before your test. Any opportunity that you have to drive, just so that you can build that confidence behind the wheel, like, it's just going to go a long way. At least you already know the basic maneuvers and everything, because that is what they're actually checking for in the test. So if you're able to meet the basic maneuvers, then yeah, you can then practice with a driving instructor and better your skills. If you are trying to book for your road test, I would advise that you book ahead of time, because most of the time you would not even find any dates that is close to you. Like if you want to write your test in November and you want to book in October, you're not going to see any dates for November. What you're going to be seeing is dates for December, like late December or even January. So try as much as you can to just book ahead. Even though that I booked for November in August, you guys, like you can see, I wanted to book my test in August, and the only date that was available then was November. But later on I was able to get another date, because I think people generally cancel, so you have to just be checking their websites as you're preparing for your test. And if you feel you're ready and there's a date available close to you, maybe just take that date if you feel that you're ready for your test. So on the day of the test, because my test, it actually came a bit unexpectedly. I was just checking the website like I normally do, and I just saw a date for the next day by 10, I think 11. That day I was not really like prepared. In my mind I thought I was still going to write it in November, but then I saw a date available like tonight, maybe say by 10 p.m. tonight. I found a date available for tomorrow by 11. So it was kind of like, oh my god, am I going to be prepared and all of that. So I asked my driving instructor, like he said that he thinks I'm about 80% ready. So it was more of a, am I ready to take the risks? And yeah, I decided to just try it, because I had already done the months of practice, and I was paying for driving lessons. Like it's not even cheap, like it, because I really wanted to get my license. So he just advised me to take the date, and I booked for the test the next day. So in the morning I just went and I did a couple of practice, went around just like to get my confidence level up. I drove to the test location, and then I waited. Just try and arrive earlier than the time, because if your time says 11, you're supposed to be there by I think 10:50, like 10 minutes to time. You're supposed to be there already. So I went there on time. I checked in, because you have to come with your license and check in and everything. After all of that, that is when you now get ready and wait in the car for the examiner to come. The thing I would advise you is that, and it's my driving instructor that's kind of like said this to me, if you are going for your test, just try as much as possible to relax and be calm, because nervousness will somehow make you make more mistakes, and those kind of mistakes, silly mistakes that normally you would have not made, you just be making it on your test day. That is one thing he advised me, and it's not so easy to be calm in that situation, but just try as much as possible to relax yourself. It's not the end of the world. Even if things don't go well, it's not over till it's over. That's how I like to see it, because even as you are doing the driving, there are like certain things that are going to happen, but it doesn't mean that you fail the test, because it was certain YouTube videos that actually made me realize it's like, if you make a mistake on your test, like on the actual test day, and you made a mistake, don't give up and say you failed the test just because of that mistake. Because there was something that happened on my test, and in my mind I was just like, oh my god, have I failed? But just try as much as possible to remain calm till you end the test and the driving instructor tells you whether you failed or passed, because they will be the one to tell you if you failed or passed. For me, I was just nervous, but I just had to relax myself, because I know that when I'm nervous I tend to be jittery and I keep making mistakes that I know I would have not made if I was calm. So that's just one extra tip I would give you. Just book ahead of time, don't be nervous, take driving lessons, relax, get as much practice as you can, and just book and go and write your test. Let's just talk about what to expect, because there are certain things that the examiner is like looking to see. It actually contains some of the things, most of them actually, not some. It's in this book that they gave me for my preparation, but I'm just going to tell you a couple of basic things. For me, I think the biggest thing is making sure that you are doing all of your checks. Like, they want to see you doing that shoulder check. If you've driven here, there's like, if you're turning or you want to make a turn, always check your shoulder. Like, that is so important. Like, you have to do it every single time you're turning your car, because that risk of hitting somebody by the side of your blind spots this is always there as long as you don't check your shoulder. So just ensure that you do that. You use your turn signals, and you can do lane changes, you can do like parking, all this reverse parking and the rest. Like you have to learn all of those. So these are the kind of things they would ask you in your test day, because my own test day I did parallel parking, I did reverse parking, I changed lanes, I just made sure to check my shoulder every time I was turning. So I think that these are majorly the things they want to see. Of course, your driving, your speed and all of that needs to be on point, but generally if you're able to coordinate all of this, you have a good chance of actually passing your test. In conclusion, I would say the best thing to do is familiarize yourself with the routes, like the places that they usually take people on their test. Try and get familiar with those routes so that it's not new to you. You already know the speed limits, you already know the turning and everything, pedestrian crossings, you are a bit used to the road. And as much as possible, follow the examiner's instruction. If they ask you to take left, take left. If they need you to take right, go right. If you're going straight, go straight. Like follow whatever instructions that they are giving you on the test day, and then you should be fine. So that's it, guys. I just hope this video is going to help you in your search for your driving license in Canada. I really appreciate all of you guys watching me, and I'm grateful that you guys have watched this part of the video. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.